Hey, Exoticals. So I just wanted to talk about this really quick because this is definitely a thing between Exoticals. People won't allow us to date each other. So I had a situation about a year and a half ago at my job, right? Because this was the most recent time I remember something like this happening to me. So, mind you, I'm in a relationship at the time, but I don't know if this particular person was either. But he was really cute. He was definitely giving eye candy at the workplace for sure. I could definitely tell he was attracted to me because of how persistent he was in trying to get to know me. He approached me first in everything. He started asking me questions. He was the one who I would always talk about. He would refuse to accept, like, if I tell him where I'm from, he won't believe what I tell him. I'm just from the East Coast. I have to be from like Africa or somewhere because how exotic I look, how unique and different I look. He just refused to believe that I just from the East Coast. But he was always asking me questions. People would see us together all the time because he was always approaching me and asking me questions. But for the most part, he would always approach me. He was trying to get to know me. It was so obvious, especially when we were in a group setting. Like, let's just say there's a whole group of us talking, right? Everybody was talking. Me and him are in the circle, of course. And let's say it's my turn to talk, right? In most situations, I'm used to people ignoring me in group settings, not being heard, being over talked over. For the most part, I always felt that way, whether that's online or in real life. But with him, whenever I would say something in the group, and let's say somebody came right after me and just spoke, like I didn't say anything, I noticed that he would stop the person who was talking, come back to me, he would point back to me and be like, "What did you just say?" And everybody would just stop and just listen to me talk because he did that. Like, he wanted me to be heard, and that was noticeable to me. That was the first time I ever felt like somebody really wanted to hear what I had to say. And everybody else saw that too, so that kind of caused a little, because a lot of people liked him, and a lot of people liked me, but people could see that we were starting to get closer and closer to each other. And I'm just going to be honest about this because, based off of other people's opinions and observations and me just observing what's going on, it was definitely given like me and him were the Barbie and Ken of the workplace, like the two most attractive opposite sexes in the building. And that's just based off of how people treated us, observations, all of that. So you could just tell it was one of those unspoken things. It was very obvious people were trying to keep us apart, but yet somehow people just assumed that we were eventually going to find our way to each other, and so somehow we did. We just started talking. I thought he was cool. I could tell he was definitely trying to pursue me, though. It was giving that for sure. He would ask me questions outside of work related, like what am I into, what am I interested in, what do I like doing outside of work, all these different types of personal questions, you know what I'm saying? So, and he will always help me. He came out the blue to help me too, because I would be struggling with something and I wouldn't even realize he's anywhere near me, but he sees me struggling. So, but he always had my back like that, and I always noticed that. So, people noticed it too, obviously. And there was this unambiguous group of men and women, mostly women, and they felt a way about our connection with each other. I guess that's the word to use. They felt some type of way, and they would do things to make me think that. And one of the things they for sure would do, let's say I'm in the break room and eye candy's in the break room, and we're on two opposite ends or whatever. I would notice somebody from the unambiguous group would put their body in between his view of me so he can't see me. And they would do this a lot. Like, it would be on purpose. It was like so obvious, because I noticed he would always be looking at me and I would look at him too, and sometimes he cared, sometimes he didn't care, but it was just so obvious. And everybody else, it was obvious to everybody, but they was trying to keep us apart, like one way or another. let's say he wanted to talk to me, like he will always approach me. Somebody sometimes would pull him before he was getting to me to get to him to talk to him, so he wouldn't get to talk to me. That happened before too. But no, it was always something there, you know what I'm saying, that they couldn't really do nothing about. Almost like that one video I made where attractive people recognize each other. That was the thing I was having with him. Attractive people, we recognize one another. I know you probably going through the same internal things that I'm going through because of how attractive you look. You're misread, you're misjudged, all of that. So it wasn't like that for me like it was for him. He was more persistent with it because, you know, I'm in a situation already at home, working through those things. So, but I did notice how he would treat me, and that was very different than what I was used to. People always thought I was flirting with him too, and I wasn't. The way my eyes are shaped, people kind of get the wrong idea about me. Like when I'm talking to a guy, he would probably think I'm flirting with him. I could tell. It'll be a regular guy off the street I'll be just talking to randomly. I'll smile or whatever, but then he takes it maybe the wrong way, like I'm flirting with him. So y'all, it's a hot mess. And I don't be trying to flirt. And that honestly has to do with the reason why a lot of guys end up catching feelings for me, because they think I'm flirting with them. I noticed that, and I'm like, I'm not. I promise I'm not. It's just the way my face looks. I always had this issue, even in I'm so nice and friendly, and then my face being attractive, and then I have these seductive ass eyes, and I can't do nothing about it. I promise I don't be trying to flirt most of the time. I promise I'm not trying to flirt like that. But people will get the wrong idea. And there was a situation with another co-worker that I was talking to that was a guy that somebody in the unambiguous group liked. It wasn't eye candy, it was somebody else. That me and him, we were just friends, but I could tell he was attracted to me too. But so one day when me and him was talking, one of the people from the unambiguous group came up to me and was like, "Oh, you flirting with him too?" And I looked at her like, I didn't say this out loud, but in my head I'm like, flirting with him? No, I'm not flirting with him too. Who else do you think I'm flirting with? That's what I wanted to ask her, but I didn't say anything. Just left it there like, I'm not flirting with. I don't remember what I responded to, but I didn't really answer the question. I just looked at her like, what the fuck? And then I kind of just walked away because I was like, I'm not trying to flirt with anybody. I'm just friendly and nice, and I happen to be attractive, and people find me attractive. So that's just kind of how it looks on the outside. That's part of being attractive. That's kind of one of the things that we have to deal with. People think we're flirting when we're in relationships, when we're really not. We're just being nice. But I promise I don't be trying to flirt. I really don't. It just comes off that way. But anyways, yeah, they don't want us to date each other, y'all. They will sabotage to get y'all from talking. Well, he no longer works there anymore at the work with eye candy. But I remember his last day working there. You ever get the sense somebody's trying to avoid you? Like, they'll see you, but they'll walk in opposite directions. You feel their energy and everything. His energy was so heavy that day. I could tell something was wrong. I don't know if people have sabotaged whatever happened, but he was avoiding me like the plague that day. Even down to us being in the same group project for work that day. He, for the first half, because when we had a group assignment and there was a random group of us chosen, me and him were happy to be chosen. But I noticed he was avoiding me during the projects. And then the second half of shift, he wasn't even in the group anymore. It was like, did he just, like, I really felt like he was avoiding me on purpose. And the energy was just so strong. I'm a very intuitive person, and I could just tell energy shifts in people's emotions and feelings and everything. I can tell if a random guy who I know likes me gets jealous because I'm talking to another guy, his energy changes. I can just read these things. They have imaginary relationships with me in their heads, a lot of guys. So if I'm talking to another dude and they see me talking to another dude, they'll get mad at me and won't acknowledge me, won't say hello for like 3 days because they're just really mad. because I spoke to somebody else. So I have to deal with these kinds of things. And people be having feelings for me. I don't be trying to. I can't help it. I promise. I'm not trying to come off flirtatious. Maybe they think I like them and I'm just being nice. There's this other white boy at my job who I think I like him because I keep smiling and saying hello. And he always speaks to me. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Part of having my phenotype is it comes with the territory, I guess. But the last day of work, it was very obvious he was avoiding me. We used to always joke, laugh, and everything. He would always ask me questions, remember? Approaching me and everything. But I felt like today was going to be the last day I would see him. I don't know how I know this, but I know this. And sure enough, that was the last day I saw him. I felt like I was seen by him. That was different for me. But I don't know what happened, what was said, what was not said. But I knew people didn't want us talking at all. I remember he used to be very anxious around me too. So, and I know this because I would read his body language when he's about to talk to me. He would be shaking his leg and doing all kinds of nervous behaviors. I would notice, and I'm like, do you want to say something? In my head, I'm like, I'm not that intimidating, am I? You're just as attractive as I am. You should know what it's like. We're really people on the inside. Me and you should know this. We should understand this. But he's still getting nervous around me and stuff. It was cute though. I ain't even gonna lie. And there was situations like in the break room. This was during COVID time, and imagine like a classroom, an elementary school classroom. You know how there's individual tables where only one person can fit at a table, but they're like 5 rows of, individual tables. And that's how our break room was made during COVID time. And I remember he would be on the far end of, let's say I was sitting on the left side of the break room at this one table. He was on the opposite end. This was during the beginning when I first started working there. And I noticed he was always sitting on the opposite end. And I noticed through the as the weeks went on, he would get closer and closer, sitting closer and closer to the point where he would sit right beside me. Mind you, there's a whole bunch of other empty seats around this entire room, and you're gonna sit the one right next beside me. So it was just very obvious he was pursuing me for sure. He was very persistent. But I felt like there were also people in the unambiguous group who were trying to plot and sabotage to get us from talking and seeing each other. Like I told y'all, either they would put their body in front so he can't see me, or they would grab him when he's about to approach me to talk to him, something to those effects. I also remember one of the unambiguous girls randomly asking me about my situationship at home, because at the time we were kind of rocky in my real relationship, and I confided in her and all of that and everything. So she knows I was going through it, but she decided to ask me this anyways, out loud, so half the room could hear, like, oh, so how is your boyfriend, Maya J? And and mind you, we're all in this group or whatever. I'm only in this group because of people that are mutual friends in the group that talk. Like, you know how you're mutual friends with somebody who don't like you, but you're still friends with that person. So because of that, you're sometimes in proximity to people who really don't like you behind the scenes. So it was one of those weird things where I knew some people didn't like me, but I was friends with this person. I was cool with this person, so I was only there because of them or whatever. But so mind you, nobody will be really talking to me, but the one time they want to talk to me is ask me about my boyfriend while he's there listening. And so I knew what that was about. I didn't mind the question, but I knew where the question was coming from because of how it came off. Why was you so loud about it? First of all, yeah, everybody knows I have a boyfriend. I'm pretty sure he knows because you guys told him. You guys just want to be messy right now. And there's nothing messy about that, but I'm just saying the intent behind what they were trying to do was very obvious. And it was just uncalled for, basically, is all I'm saying. Like, I don't have to tell you how my boyfriend is. You don't even know him. Mind your business. We don't even talk like that. For you, of all the things you could have asked me, like, how am I, like acquaintance type questions. That wasn't an acquaintance type of a question. That just wasn't. So that's how I knew that it was coming from a messy place. So they would just do little things like that. And then also the same person asked me, was I pregnant, out loud, so half the room could hear me, or half the room could hear her. And I'm not pregnant, I just have a little stomach. Y'all seen it in one of my videos I did. I think the Get Unready With Me video. Y'all can just see the gut I'm talking about. And I'm working on getting rid of. It's a long road, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it. But the sabotage, the humble tactics was just too out loud around that time. Like, two exoticals who are attractive getting together is just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. If the unambiguous crew has anything to do with it, they will stop it. Like I said, we're two of the most attractive opposite sex people in the building, and we're both the same race. His phenotype, if I can explain it correctly, if you could think of a younger LL Cool J, a younger version of LL Cool J, a skinnier version of LL, not a skinnier version, he has a little muscles on him. Or you can think of Drew from Everybody Hates Chris. That's like if he was older and more muscular, that's basically the best way I can describe his phenotype. But he had hair, so like plaits. So I'm laughing because he was telling me he was gonna lock his hair one day. We was talking about that. He was gonna lock his hair, but he never did it. But yeah, so if you guys are both attractive, like if I wasn't attractive, they wouldn't even be trying to go so hard. It was him, but both of us being attractive and exoticals, it's too much triggers going on right there. You know what I mean? People like him, the females like him, the males like me. I'm triggering other females in the workplace, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm the only one who people treat like a celebrity in that building, as far as being a female goes. And you know, with him, the females was just all up on him. From the managers, I would always see the female managers up on him. Even the female managers who liked him would treat me different, a certain way. I had one manager accidentally, purposely push me. She tried to make it seem like it was an accident, but you could feel force versus somebody just accidentally falling on you. I don't know why I let that slide, but I knew it was coming from. I had a similar situation happen to me with a manager about 10 years before this at when I was working at Chipotle. And this was a situation, the guy wasn't trying to pursue me. We were both exoticals. The same situation, Barbie and Ken, the two opposite most attractive people in the workplace. But the difference with that situation was me and him were just friends. We're still friends to this day. I just texted him 2 days ago, asked him what he was doing. That's my best friend. We don't even look at each other like that. I'm not even his type. He likes white girls. So, but people didn't know none of that. People just observed that me and him were cool. And my female manager, liked him. And she would make my life a living hell. She even accused me of stealing because I had 3 counterfeit bills in my drawer. Mind you, I always checked my bills over 20. I marked the little red, the marker to see if it's real or not. I was doing my job that day, but I got called in the office because they thought I was bringing people in here to give fake money. Like, why would I do that? But I was getting accused, and she didn't even want to hear me. It was like I was guilty before innocent with her. It was like, why is she coming at me like this all of a sudden? She was trying to sabotage me. We was cool before me and my friend was close, the guy that she liked. So, like, people will sabotage you if you try to get with the attractive guy, or the attractive guy likes you and not them. They do not want us Exoticals to date each other. She was an Exotical too, which was the fucked up part, but because she felt like he wasn't giving her any attention, he used to call her a hoe at everything. So I know he didn't really like her like that, but I guess she was just jealous of my relationship with him, because we had a relationship, we were friends, but people might have got the wrong idea, because like I told y'all, I come off as flirtatious, so people thought it was probably more than what it was. But that's just my life, y'all. If I can't hang out with females because they don't like me, but I can't hang out with males because they either will catch feelings for me, or I would just end up in some drama because another female likes him and they get triggered by me. It's just a whole bunch of drama. So that's why I'm alone a lot of the times, because of all of the stress and drama that comes with how I look. It comes down to that, how I look. I'm attracting this guy because he likes the way that I look, and he likes me because he's getting to know me, and other females are getting triggered by me, and this has been my entire life since I was a child. Nothing new. This is going to be going on. I've heard older Exoticals comment on my videos and saying, girl, this is just the beginning. I'm 60 years old and I'm still going through it. So I feel like this is going to be part of the experience with coming with looking like an Exotical, but you know, the price we gotta pay, right? I wouldn't trade being an Exotical for anything. I love the way that I look, but it just comes with drama, you know. But that's other people's problems that they're projecting onto me. It's not really right, but that's just the world that we live in. All attractive people know what I'm talking about. Your face comes with drama. It just does. People just stay in love with you. I had dudes fight over me so many times. Even dudes that I wasn't even with would fight over me in the workplace. Like, they think that I like them, but they think this other guy likes me. They see me being a little too friendly with that guy. They take it the wrong way, but they have an imaginary relationship with me in their head, so they get mad at this. It's a bunch of drama. I've had a very close friendship breakup before over me, because one of the guys liked me a whole lot, but this was like what, 8 years ago, but his best friend also liked me, but I liked his friend. So it was just it was a whole hot mess. That's all I really wanted to get on here and talk about, how people will sabotage Exoticals from dating each other. They just will, especially if you guys are attractive. It's gonna be times two. So let me know what you guys think. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Have y'all went through things like this before, where people will cock block you with another Exotical of the opposite sex, where they try to put their body in between you and them? Will they steal him away when he's about to come to you, so he can't talk to you? What are your guys' stories? Because I know I'm not alone. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you for listening.